just going with it. Hey there, welcome to my channel. My name is Linda. Got a lot of fun DIYs in store for you today. And today's video is also in collaboration with one of my sweet friends. Which friend is it? That sweet friend. She is pretty sweet. She's stinking cute too. I just love her. What are we waiting for? Let's get crafting. Today we are working on 3 DIY farmhouse home decor projects, so let's get started with project number 1. So for this first project, these are salvaged wood boards. I had my husband cut off various lengths off of a pallet that I had been spray painting on for months, and we are now on our kitchen floor, and we've got half of it wood glued and clamped together, as you can see here, and then we will clamp the other side together. Here it is and setting up. This is 34 inches long, 10 inches tall, and you can see like that wood board in the center. That actually came from my last video. I had spray painted some metal words from Dollar Tree that said family, so you could see the outline of those. So I used boards I had been spray painting on forever. So these wood letters here came from Walmart. They're 8 inches tall. I spray painted them in black, and then I've got a wagon wheel, one of those wagon wheel things from Dollar Tree. And what I did is I traced my wood letters and I cut out 2 sets of cardboard that are just about 1/8 inch shy all the way around, and then of course I cut out my cardstock to fit my letters as well. And now I'm fitting the wagon wheel, so I glued both pieces of cardboard together for each letter, and then what I've got here is I marked where the wagon wheel laid on the cardboard, because I didn't want to just lay the letters on top. I wanted to sandwich them in between the letters, so to speak. So I marked on the cardboard where the wires of that wagon wheel laid, and now I'm cutting out with a craft knife that very top layer of the cardboard, so that when I set that wagon wheel down, it will set down in level to the first layer of that cardboard and be all nice and level on top. And I hope that's understandable. It will set right in that recess, so I'll cut all the rest of these out. Now I'm sanding my letters, just showing you one here, of course, sanding and distressing them all. So once we get that cardstock on, you'll see a little bit of that distressing around the edges. So right now we're getting the cardboard onto the letters, and I'm actually gluing it onto the cardstock first for the E, so that I get that centered, because I don't want that cardboard to show, so I cut it smaller than the actual letter. And then once I get that fitted onto the cardstock, I will take this and glue it onto the letter. So I really hope that's all understandable. If it's not, just watch the video, because that's what I'm doing. But then once this is glued on, of course, then I'll go ahead and glue this first letter down. A really just simplistic looking project, but I love how it turned out. So now the cardboard for the M and the H, I'm doing them in separate pieces, because that wagon wheel only touches the inner part of the H and the inner part of the M. So I've just glued on the outer part of the H and the M of the cardboard. Now I'm gluing on the inner part, and as I glue, I glue that on, and then I'll glue the letter on, and then I'm just kind of laying my wagon wheel back and forth, checking and making sure that it's still laying in the right position to hit those recesses of that cardboard. Got the cardboard down on the H. Now I'm going to go ahead and glue that down. Going to use Gorilla Glue to glue in the spokes of the wagon wheel into the recesses of that cardboard. And then once I get that set into place, I'm going to just lay some heavy cans of paint on top and let that sit overnight. Perfect. Now it's the next day, of course. I'm going to go ahead and glue down my cardstock on top of our cardboard and letters, and then that will lay completely level. The wagon wheel you won't even be able to see. I'll show you up close. You won't hardly be able to even detect the wagon wheel laying, on top of those letters. It should just be all nice and smooth. Now I've got this, I didn't show you, here's a circle here, I painted it off camera, and I'm just covering the back with some cardstock that matches, and the front the same with the darker cardstock and a little bit lighter cardstock in gray shades. And then of course I have a font here, or a quote I created off my Cricut Design Space using the fonts Georgia and Corona. So home is of course our title, and so they built a life they loved. And then I'm going to go ahead and using my Beacon Fabri-Tac glue for all the projects today, I'm going to add it to the center of the wagon wheel and down along the spokes. Of course, I marked where that circle will set. And then once I get this glue on, we'll set the little quote right in the center, and then that will make this project complete. I am happy to announce that today's video is in collaboration with my beautiful friend and sister in Christ, Wendy, who is White Sparrow Living Luke 12:6 here on YouTube. I'm betting you need no introduction, but just in case you have missed this lady's sweet demeanor and most creative imagination for DIYs on this planet, I will have her link in the description box below so you can check out her video. But for now, let's move on to project number 2. For this project here, my inspiration was this 3D wooden tic-tac-toe set from Kirkland's for $84.99. Now I've got this candle holder and a couple of pieces from my supply, but if you use like candle holder from Dollar Tree and 2 home decor boxes kind of like this, you can knock about $3 off the price I came up with. And then of course I'm using this part of the sign off of this hanging thing, and I'll spray paint everything in this flat black Rust-Oleum spray paint. Before I do that though, this one larger piece has a wooden center or wooden metal center I need to get off. So for all my pieces on all my projects today, any paper I'm using, I like to take everything to the sewing machine. I sew with all polyester thread, a size 10 needle, tension set on 4, and stitch length on 4. I just love to add that texture. Here's what it looks like. And now I'm going to also use these signs I had in my stash. I need to do 2 across, and then I'll do 2 the other way cut in pieces. So I've measured everything out, what I need to cut off. So we're taking it outside and using our power tools today. Yes, I have my safety glasses on, you can't see. So I'm just cutting the edge off. And then I'll of course cut the little bottoms off. I'll save those, and then I'll cut each of the signs directly in half lengthwise. And then a couple of the signs, which I don't show you, I kind of just show you a little bit here, I have to cut in little pieces, and you'll see why later on. So this one for the long way, I kind of have to cut it one direction, turn it around, and cut it the other direction. But just to show you, yep, I'm using some power tools. So here's my board, my signs all done, ready to go. I've sanded and distressed around the edges. Here are my papers all sewn and ready. And so I'm going to add some papers around the outside of both of these boxes, so to speak. Let's call them boxes. I know they're kind of home decor signs. And then I will add some paper to the inside of the top box. So I'm kind of doing like browns and blacks and things like that, just kind of give it a little bit more of a rustic look. And now here I am, I'm doing 2 layers for the inside of the box. The inside of this top one has, it's kind of wood slatted here. So I did separate pieces of wood, black cardstock, and print paper on top to fit each wood slat. But you could always just cover the whole inside, or you don't have to use any paper on any of this if you wanted to recreate it and just paint it all. I did include kind of my paper cost in the price. So here's that sign I cut down from Dollar Tree smaller, and so I'm adding some couple pieces of cardstock here. And my quote from Cricut Design Space, I kind of did a take on like, if the Wi-Fi goes out, you're kind of going to be stuck with these type of games. So that was kind of my funny on this. And I used Georgia and Ruthyn fonts on this project, everything from defont.com. So basically it's all fun and games until somebody loses their Wi-Fi. So here's my pieces. I've got them spray painted. I've got 2 long pieces one direction, and I'm just kind of checking the measurement so it's the same everywhere I go. And my measurements are funny, but it's 1 line past 2 1/4. That's how I have to measure. And then I've got my little pieces cut here, and I have to split those between the 2 long pieces, so I kind of get a tic-tac-toe board here, obviously. And I am just using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue here. These pieces fit nice and tight. I've cut them tight. I laid them in their position, and I'm just taking a few out at a time and then gluing them back into position. So 2 long pieces one way, and then I've got 6 short pieces the other way to make our little tic-tac-toe board. It worked out pretty easy, and it was pretty simple. And I was almost going to do those large craft sticks, so you could do those too. But you know, I had these signs in my supply, of course, that I cut down, and I went with them because the thickness of them kind of matched the thickness around the box. So I have a wooden dowel here, it's a 3/8 inch square dowel, and I'll cut 4 pieces at 2 3/4 inches. And I will cut 16 pieces at 1 3/8 inches. Here they are. So I need 1 long piece and 4 short pieces for each jack here we're going to make, and some wood glue. So basically I just kind of, you know, take 2 short pieces and glue it on either side of the long piece first. And I go through that for all of them, kind of like assembly line. And then it's dry enough I can add the other 2 short pieces. It's set up long enough. By the time I get that done, I can add the other 2 short pieces here on one side, and then I go through that motion, let all those sit up, and then I can flip it around and do the other side. Short enough, and everything's set up enough that I can get these shorter pieces on the last side. Perfect. See, you can even pick it up. Our little jacks here, I think those turned out cute enough. I'm now going to use some Gorilla Glue because I want to go ahead and glue my bottom box here to the top box. I just wanted it double layer. I wanted it to look nice. I wanted it to look like have a little funny with the quote, but look like a really just nice home decor piece kind of sitting on your coffee table. You know, anyone can pick up and play the game. And then I've got the candlestick spray painted. I put 2 pieces of cardboard, gluing those together in the center so that will help take up the space between the candlestick and the lip of the candlestick. Gives me more gluing surface to glue to this bottom box. So get that second box on and get the Gorilla Glue on the candlestick, lay that inside of the box, setting that aside and let it set up. I've got these wooden balls from Hobby Lobby. They're $4.99. And of course my 4 wood jacks. I'm using Waverly Wax paint mixed with water, and of course my wooden balls keep wanting to roll off the table. We'll paint the jacks and then wipe off the excess with the baby wipe. And then what I'll do is the leftovers, I think I show you one now, but the leftover of this Waverly Wax watered down, I will throw into a bag to throw the wooden balls into, and you know, smush them inside that Waverly Wax paint water mix. Get my words together, to get those coated as well. And of course, once these dry, they'll dry a lot lighter too. I almost left them alone but decided not to. So here's everything all ready to go, and I'm going to go ahead and glue my sign onto the outside of the box. Once I glue that on, this will be done. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you again the original picture that we went with. And then when my project comes up, I'll have the price on there that cost me. But the original cost of my inspiration was $84.99, and my cost turned out to be $13.49. So that makes this project complete. If you're coming over from Wendy's channel or just happen to find me here on YouTube, welcome. My name is Linda. I love to do all sorts of home decor DIYs, for farmhouse to rustic to primitive, even throwing in some paper crafting. I post videos once a week, so if you like what you're seeing here today, make sure you hit that red subscribe button and notification bell so you don't miss out on a single video from me. But for now, let's move on to our last project, number 3. For this project, I'll be using a jumbo craft stick, this sign from Dollar Tree, but the base, not the top part. I had my friend cut me a gigantic lemon and the smaller of these 3 hearts you can get during Valentine at Dollar Tree. And wood bees, of course, I'll link those in the description box for you. And I'm using 3 of these smaller hearts. I've spray painted them in flat black. And then, of course, I have spray painted the base as well of that sign I showed you. And then the gigantic lemon, I have those ready to go as well. I have my cardstock cut for those, for the top and bottom layers. And now I'm going to go ahead and use the open end of my scissor blades and scrape along all the pieces of my paper. I just wanted to show you that process here since I didn't show you on the other ones. This is what it looks like. Got my popsicle stick or craft stick all ready to go. So here's these pieces for those. Everything's sewn, as you can see here. We'll start kind of assembling things. So I'm using Beacon Fabri-Tac glue again. I get the one piece onto the bottom of the gigantic lemon slice and realize I forgot to sand it. So I'm going to come in with some sanding paper just on the bottom one and sand it so you see a little bit of that edge around. I like to cut all my papers about an 1/8 inch shorter all the way around so you do see the wood of that perimeter. We'll go ahead and get the front piece of paper on here. And then we'll go ahead and add the yeah, you can see I even cut out all those little wedges. We'll go ahead and add the top piece to the slice on top, and I cut it short as well, and you can see the sewing here. And then we're going to add the piece to the back of our slice so that you see that yellow of the lemon, and I even kind of sewed in around the edges of those open areas. Going to add our 3 cardboard hearts together and then add the paper to the front side and the back. Using the labels off these signs from Dollar Tree, the label part of them. I love these. I bought a ton of these. I love using the labels off here as little signs. We're just covering that with paper as well. Just kind of getting our little paper crafting on here a little bit. And then we're adding our pieces to our craft stick. I keep wanting to call it a popsicle stick, but I think they call the bigger ones craft sticks. And then I have some little wood hearts here. I'll link those in the description box as well. Same place you get the wood bees. I'm just covering the front and the back of these wood hearts. We'll kind of use those. Since I have a larger wood heart, it's nice to do things in 3, so I'm adding 2 smaller hearts. I did not show painting the bees because I've showed them in my videos before. I'll link a video down below where I did a lot of lemon projects and it shows you how I painted the bees. Adding fonts here of DK Lemon Yellow and Charlotte for my Lemon Kisses sign. Of course, Cricut Design Space. Again, fonts from dafont.com. Kind of usually I don't show this part just because it does take a little time, but I thought I'd show you on this one. I usually would just kind of lay it down with the transfer paper, and the next thing you know, it's magic. The quote appears. But sometimes I like to show you my process, and we'll get this all glued to the popsicle stick. Here's the bottom of our sign, of course, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that to the gigantic lemon slice. And I'm going to glue the lemon slice at an angle. So you can see it looks like I'm laying it on crooked, but I'm doing it on purpose. And then this is a beautiful board, laser cut chipboard wood called Sweet. It comes as a set, Sweet as Sugar, from Reneabouquets.com. I'll make sure I link that in the description box below as well. And then I'm going to glue my smallest heart on here. Perfect. And I'm going to glue my smallest bee at the bottom of the Lemon Kisses sign. The larger bee, I want to add some curly wire. This is fabric covered wire. I get it at Hobby Lobby in the floral section. Curl it around a paintbrush, and then I'm taking one straight edge and I'll glue it to the back of the bee, and then I will take a piece of paper or cardstock and glue that over that wire so it helps hold it in as well as making it nice. Now I'm using my Crocodile to punch a hole in the wood. I had to peel, or the cardboard. I had to peel up a layer on the back because I forgot to, not glue that part down. Sticking my bee through the hole I just punched and then re-gluing that top portion of the paper down on the back of our heart. And then we'll go ahead and glue this to the center of our lemon. Just kind of gluing the bottom half of it so the top half will stick off of our lemon, of course. Give it a little bit of height. This is a little ephemera piece, says 24/7. I'm adding a tiny little clothespin you can get from Dollar Tree. I thought it'd be cute, kind of the title is Sweet Lemon Kisses 24/7. So just laying that underneath our little sign here. And then I'm going to add the larger heart to the side of the lemon slice here, and then I will add the lemon kisses sign to the bottom, and once I glue that on, this project is complete. So I hope you enjoyed all the projects I came up with today. I didn't stop doing the lemons. You told me not to stop, so I threw another one in for you. Leave me a comment down below and let me know which project was your favorite. Please give this video a thumbs up, and remember, this video is in collaboration with my sweet friend Wendy, White Sparrow Living, Loop 12-6. Link to her video and channel will be in my description box. Also, if you're not a subscriber, hit that red subscribe button. I have one final thought for you. God looks at your heart. If you keep holding on to what you've done, thinking God surely can't be within your reach, you are wrong. God wants to move you forward in His joy. He looks at the truth of your heart. He searches it. He knows everything inside of you. Seek Him. Trust His promises. He is reachable. He will rush to meet you. I thank you for sharing your time with me, and I'll talk with you again soon. Bye.